Hello everyone, this is Miss Smith. I hope you all are doing well, especially in light of the weather we've had that's caused some flooding in the area. I wanted to record this video for this week's class because at this point we are getting ready to write the rough draft of our literacy narrative assignment. Okay, so you should have submitted your outline by last night's deadline, and I will take a look at those, and now you should be moving forward in that writing process to that second step, which is drafting, where you're going to be creating a rough draft. Okay, so let's take a look at that. First of all, let's take a quick look at our syllabus so we can kind of see where we are and where we're going. Okay, and so again, we are currently in week 4. And we're going to talk about drafting, assessing your own writing. Your reading also includes revising, editing, and proofreading, and key features of the literacy narrative. So all of that's covered in your reading or in past readings that we've done. Now keep in mind that if you're not using the 4th edition of the textbook, you need to look at the home page for our D2L account where I've given you the page correlations for the 3rd edition. Okay, so make sure that you are using the right set of page numbers based on the book that you have. Okay, and so again, your outline should have been submitted. Now you should be moving into drafting. Your rough draft is due on next week on Tuesday by 11:55 p.m. and you want to submit that to me. Listen to this very carefully. Okay, 2 things you need to do with your rough draft. Number 1, you need to upload your rough draft to D2L. Okay, you need to submit it to the Dropbox in D2L. The second thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you submit it to BrainFuse for feedback. So we've gone over BrainFuse in a video in a previous week. You want to make sure that you do that as well. You must do both things, okay? The following week is our discussion week. We see that here, right? Our discussion week. And so what you need to do is contact me on week 6. Okay, you need to contact me so that we can have a discussion about your work. Okay, and so you need to contact me. You can contact me during office hours. You can call me and leave me a message at the best time and the best day to call you back. If it's between Monday and Thursday, I can return your call during that time. If it's on the weekend, I won't be able to do that. But you can let me know the best way to reach you and the best time to reach you. Okay. And we need to have a discussion then about your work. I will give you verbal feedback on your rough draft. You should have received your BrainFuse feedback also, and that will give you that detailed feedback on your rough draft. And we will also do something else here on next week, on the week of the 20th, that will give you another avenue for feedback. Okay, and so make sure that on next week you submit your rough draft to me, to D2L, so that I can review it, and then also to BrainFuse so that you can get that detailed feedback from an online tutor. Okay, make sure you do both those things. Grammar quizzes will be due on week 6 on September 27th, and so you want to be mindful of that as well. And then to kind of round out this assignment, our literacy narrative final draft will be due on October 4th by 11:55 p.m. Okay, and then we will move into our next writing assignment, which is the argument. Okay, and so if you never look at your syllabus, you want to look at your syllabus, right? You want to make sure that you're checking your syllabus so that you know when things are coming due and so that you can plan. The entire semester is planned out for you. You know when everything is due. So make sure that you're planning accordingly. Okay? All right. So let's go back to our PowerPoint. And I'm just going to move into a slideshow format really quickly. Okay? So we're going to talk about assessing your writing. Okay, and so now that your outline is finished, like I was just saying, now you want to begin writing, and you must begin drafting and creating that rough draft of your essay. And so remember, in the writing process, that drafting stage is that second stage after pre-writing. Okay, now we've already done an overview for the assignment, so you know what you need to write about. we're writing a literacy narrative. We've already covered what that includes, what that entails, and what that what your essay should do, your essay overview, your actual overview. Okay, so we've covered that. So if you need to go back to that, go back to previous weeks and get that information. But before you begin writing, make sure you understand the rhetorical situation surrounding your assignment, okay? We've talked about the rhetorical situation already as well. And so again, that's making sure that you understand kind of that situation that should shape your writing. Understanding that rhetorical situation will help you make sure that your writing is effective and that it is appropriate for your intended audience, okay? And so you want to refer, for what we're going to talk about now with drafting, refer to pages 298 to 317 in the textbook, specifically in the 4th edition textbook. Okay, and so here are some important tips, and I just want to pull out some of the things for the readings that I kind of wanted to go over with you in a little bit more detail. Okay, and so in terms of an important tip, you definitely do want to establish a schedule with deadlines for yourself. Okay, so you know my deadlines. Set your own deadlines that help you meet my deadlines. Okay, so that you're not getting any points taken off for late work. Make sure you establish a schedule and do not wait until the last minute to begin writing. Listen, I know how it is. As a student, I would tell myself I write better at the last minute. I write better under pressure. Well, that works until it doesn't. Okay, and this could be the point in time when it doesn't. And so you want to make sure that you give yourself enough time so that you are creating your best work, even at the rough draft stage. Your rough draft should be your best possible work at this point in time. Do not just slap something together and give it to me as a rough draft. That won't work for you, okay? I need to see your best possible work at this point in time so that I can help you make it better. Otherwise, you're wasting my time and you're wasting your time because you're not giving yourself an opportunity to get your best possible feedback. Okay, so make sure that your rough draft is your best possible work. Also give yourself your best writing environment. Okay, figure out when you're at your best. If it's 9:30 at night, I mean, I'm starting to shut down. I don't know anything. Okay, and so maybe that time of the evening is great for you though. Maybe you're clearest at that point in time. Maybe you're better early in the morning. When are you at your best and can really devote your resources, your mind, your energy, your effort at your writing? Okay, and so you need to determine that because that may be the best time for you to tackle this writing assignment. You also want to find a good place to write. Okay, you want to find a good place to write. And so it could be in your room, it could be in your living room, it could be in a library, right? Maybe you need quiet, maybe you need some type of noise around you in order for you to concentrate. Whatever your good place is, you want to find it. But you always want to remember that what you need may win out over what you prefer. And the book talks about this. And so you may prefer to have a nice quiet place and a comfortable chair and everything, but you have to get the assignment done. And if you can't get what you prefer, you may end up having to go to a computer lab here on campus, or to your local library, or to some place where it's not ideal for what you want, but it gets the job done, right? You can stay there and you can work and you can get the job done. Okay. All right, and so let's talk about some more important tips. You want to make sure that you start writing, right? We're in drafting phase now, so you have to start writing and refer to your outline that you should have created to guide you. Your outline should help you. Your outline should guide you. And so hopefully you can begin on this draft using that outline to kind of help you work through where you want to position and organize your information. Okay, keep in mind that sometimes beginning is hard. It's really hard for me to begin writing. I have to kind of get it worked out in my head first before I write it. But one tip that the book has that I will also use as I write is to write quickly. Okay, once you have something down on the page, you can work with it. It's harder when you're looking at a blank page and you're trying to get that perfect opening. That's going to delay you. It's going to be better if you just put something down and then come back to it so that you can work through it and write it and figure out what works and what doesn't work. And that usually helps you get better ideas when you do have something to work from. Okay, so write quickly if you're having that hard time getting the beginning going. Um, and make sure that you are mindful that you should expect surprises. Okay, writing is a reflective process, and sometimes you can veer off in directions you didn't know were there. Okay, you have an outline, you have a plan, but sometimes you just let the writing take you where it goes. And you don't want to get so far out that you lose your place, or that you are kind of writing yourself to a dead end. But sometimes those surprises can be good things. So again, give yourself enough time to discover what's there. Okay? Um, there's some useful tips for dealing with writer's block on page 300 of the textbook. And don't forget again to consider the rhetorical situation. That is really important for you to make sure that you consider your purpose of writing, the audience you're writing to, the genre you're writing and what the genre requires, the stance you're taking or your attitude you're taking toward your topic, and the mode in which you're presenting this. So you're presenting this in a Word document. And of course that means that your writing needs to be as clear as possible, right? You want to make sure that you're not writing how you speak. Okay, sometimes we use wording in verbal communication and it's fine, but it can be unclear in written communication. And so because you're writing on a Word document and you're not going to be around me when I look at it and read your work, your writing has to speak to me very clearly. Okay, so do your best possible work with that. And make sure you have a thesis statement to explain the main point to your reader. You must have a thesis statement for this essay. And we've talked about that before, right? And your outline should include a thesis statement as well. And so make sure that there is a main point to your writing. Okay? If you have questions or concerns, please let me know. Okay, don't suffer in silence. Let me know. I'm here to help you and I want to help you, but I need to know where you need that help. And so you can just drop by my office during office hours if you happen to have a class on campus. Or you can make an appointment to meet with me during office hours, or not, excuse me, not during, but after office hours. During office hours, you just drop by, but after my office hours, you can make an appointment to meet with me, okay? And you can always visit the English Tutoring Lab, which is located in R119 on our campus. And the R building is one of the buildings that faces the main road in front of our campus. Okay, and so you can visit there whenever it's open. The R119 English Tutoring Lab schedule is posted on our homepage in D2L, and so these options are available for you. If you have any questions, please let me know. I look forward to reading your rough drafts and talking with you all again soon.